The National Privacy Commission is investigating PhilHealth's potential violations over the September 2022 data breach. The Economic Department warns against further policy rate hikes, saying this may only hurt the economy. And Gilas Pilipinas clinches the gold medal at the Asian Games, ending a 6-decade drought. Fast, focused, and fearless. Here's a roundup of stories we're watching now. I'm Riza Diaz. We begin the newscast with the National Privacy Commission investigating PhilHealth following a data breach from the September 22 ransomware attack. The NPC said it is looking into possible violations of data privacy laws and security concerns. It also said that an investigation has been launched to uncover the full extent of the breach and identify those responsible. The agency found over 730 gigabytes of personal and sensitive information in a compressed file claimed by the Medusa Group. Now, before the data leaked, the hackers had demanded a $300,000 ransom in exchange for securing the information. Meanwhile, Socio-Economic Planning Secretary Arsenio Balisacan warns against further raising interest rates. Balisacan said doing so could hurt consumers, producers, and the Philippine economy amid high inflation. He noted that the Philippines has been the most aggressive in the region in raising interest rates. The Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas Monetary Board had extended its pause on key rate at 6.25% at its last 4 meetings. Now, the next rate-setting meeting is set on November 16.
I look at how our neighbors, we see that ang policy rates natin, we stand out among our Asia, and that's not something that we can be proud of, right? Because that's increasing the cost of production, that also depressing consumer demand, so that the whole domestic demand is going to be affected, and the impact is more longer term.
The number of employed Filipinos increased in August. The Philippine Statistics Authority reported that the country's unemployment rate went down to 4.4% in August from 4.8% in July. Now, this translates to 2.21 million unemployed Filipinos. The underemployment rate also eased to 11.7% in August from 15.9% the month before. The government assured it would continue its efforts to provide better job opportunities to the public. We'll be back with more stories after the break. Keep it here on One News. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Riza Diaz. Australia will be assisting the Philippines in repairing damaged corals in some of the country's oceans. Recently, the Philippines and Australia signed the UN High Seas Biodiversity Treaty, which is a historic global treaty for the world's oceans. The Australian Embassy pointed out that coral restoration can make a significant contribution to marine environment. They are currently working on projects like this in Zambales and Palawan, with the possibility of extending it to Rosal Reef, where corals have been damaged, allegedly due to Chinese presence in the area. Australia has also provided underwater camera equipment to the Philippines for coral restoration.
Coral restoration through what I call it coral IVF. So this is a process that was invented by an Australian scientist who worked out that rather than breaking corals and replanting, you have a much higher chance of restoration if you catch the spawns when they're spawning and actually artificially inseminate and plant them. And we've got parts of Zambales and Palawan where this result has been absolutely amazing within few months. So what we are now doing is training the scientists so that we can actually have spots like that everywhere that can do the same, train the scientists on the techniques. And we are looking at creating a governance center that can also help not just the Philippines, but even other countries.
For the first time since 1962, the Philippines takes home the gold in the Asian Games men's basketball after exacting revenge on Jordan 70-60. Justin Brownlee led the way for Gilas with 20 points, but guys like Ange Kwame and Chris Newsome also stepped in and provided the necessary spark to give the national team the victory. The last time the national team won a gold medal in the Asian Games was in 1962 when it defeated China to cop its fourth straight crown in the Continental Tournament. Now, in the words of Coach Tim Cohn, this was Gilas' best game in the tournament.
We played a great game tonight. We played our best game of the tournament tonight. After beating Iran by a point and then, finding a way to that miraculous win against China by 1 point, and then turn around and winning this is just like unexplainable. The feelings that we all have at this point, seemingly coming from nowhere to win this gold.
Now, despite having formed the lineup with just 12 left before the Asian Games, Gilas managed to overcome all the adversities that came their way to bring home the gold. That's why Brownlee also thanked those who were initially included in the Gilas team, such as Calvin Abueva, Terrence Romeo, Mo Tautua, and Jason Perkins.
We didn't have a lot of time together to practice for this. We had some changes with some players, even the guys who got changed, who couldn't participate. Want to thank those guys too, because they was huge for us. We're getting us prepared. They was definitely, here with us, even though they physically wasn't here. But they earned this medal just as much as we did.
The Philippines has jumped to the 16th place in the Asian Games. China is still leading the tally board with 358 medals, 188 of which are gold. Coming in second is South Korea with 170 medals, followed by Japan with 175. India is at the third spot with 100 medals and Uzbekistan with 64. Philippines currently has 4 gold, 2 silver, and 12 bronze. The Asian Games will conclude tomorrow, October 8th. And those are the top stories of the hour. Join us again tomorrow as we monitor the day's biggest stories. I'm Riza Diaz. We are One News.